Imagine walking into a wine shop in France, Germany, Italy, Spain, or Portugal. Thousands of bottles line the shelves. Different grapes, different regions, different producers, different languages. Now imagine being a consumer trying to understand which wine is genuine, where it comes from, and whether its quality can be trusted. This challenge led to one of the most comprehensive wine quality systems in the world, the European Union Wine Regulations and Labeling Laws. The European Union is responsible for nearly two-thirds of the world's wine consumption. With so many wine-producing countries under one umbrella, maintaining consistency and protecting consumers became a major priority. Each country already had its own centuries-old wine traditions, classifications, and laws. France had its famous appellation system. Italy had its own quality hierarchy. Spain, Germany, and Portugal had their own regulations as well. The challenge was creating a common framework without destroying these historic systems. The solution was the introduction of modern EU wine regulations. These regulations established minimum quality standards across all member countries while still allowing each nation to preserve its unique wine heritage. The objective was simple: to guarantee authenticity, to protect quality, and to give consumers confidence in every bottle they purchase. The old wine classification system. Before 2011, wines produced within the European Union were generally divided into two broad categories. The first category was quality wines produced in specified regions, commonly known as QWPSR. These wines came from recognized quality wine regions and followed strict production standards. The second category was table wines. These wines had fewer geographical and production restrictions. However, over time, the system became increasingly complicated and inconsistent between countries. To create a more unified approach, the European Union introduced a completely new classification framework in 2011. The old categories were replaced by two new designations: Protected Designation of Origin, or PDO, and Protected Geographical Indication, or PGI. These two categories form the backbone of modern EU wine classification. Protected Designation of Origin, PDO, at the highest level of quality stands PDO. A PDO wine is deeply connected to its place of origin. According to EU regulations, the wine must be produced, processed, and prepared within a specific geographical area using recognized local expertise and traditional methods. In other words, the identity of the wine is inseparable from the place where it was created. The climate, the soil, the grape varieties, the local traditions, the skills of the winemakers. All of these elements combine to create a wine that cannot truly be replicated elsewhere. Each EU country has its own PDO equivalent quality categories. France. In France, PDO wines are represented by the famous OAK, which stands for Appellation d'Origine Contrôlée. This system protects some of the world's most prestigious wine regions and ensures strict quality standards. Germany. Germany uses classifications such as QBA, Qualitätswein Bestimmter Anbaugebiet and Predikatwein, formerly known as QMP or Qualitätswein mit Predikat. These categories represent some of Germany's highest quality wines. Italy's renowned quality system includes DOC, Denominazione di Origine Controllata, and DOCG, Denominazione di Origine Controllata e Garantita. DOCG represents the highest level of quality recognition in Italy. Spain uses DO, Denominación de Origen, and DOCA, Denominación de Origen Calificada. These classifications protect Spain's most respected wine regions. Portugal's PDO categories include IPR, Indicação de Proveniência Regulamentada, and DOC, Denominação de Origem Controlada. These systems preserve Portugal's rich wine-making traditions. Protected Geographical Indication, PGI. The second major category is PGI. While PDO focuses heavily on the exact place of origin and traditional production methods, PGI offers slightly more flexibility. A PGI wine still has a strong connection to a specific geographical area. However, the production requirements are generally less restrictive than PDO wines. The wine must possess qualities or characteristics associated with the region from which it originates. Each country has its own PGI equivalent classifications. France uses VDP, Vin de Pays, meaning country wine. Germany Germany uses land wine, which represents regional wines with geographical identity. Italy uses IGT, Indicazione Geografica Tipata, a category that allows greater creativity while maintaining regional identity. Spain uses VT, Vino de la Tierra, meaning wine of the land. Portugal uses VR, Vinho regional, which identifies wines from specific regions with more flexible regulations. PDO vs PGI. Understanding the difference, think of PDO and PGI as two levels of geographical protection. PDO is the stricter category. Every stage of production must take place within the designated area. Traditional methods and local expertise are heavily emphasized. PGI is slightly more flexible. The wine must still be connected to a geographical region, but the production requirements are not as restrictive. As a result, PDO wines generally represent the highest level of regional authenticity. The end of traditional table wines. One of the biggest changes introduced in 2011 was the replacement of the old table wine category. This change helped eliminate confusion between European and American definitions of table wine. In Europe, table wine referred to a classification category. In America, table wine commonly referred to wines containing less than 14% alcohol by volume. To avoid misunderstanding, traditional terms gradually disappeared. These included Vin de Table in France, Vino da Tavola in Italy, Vino da Mesa in Spain, Vinho da Mesa in Portugal, and Tafelwein in Germany and Austria. These historic terms became legally obsolete under the new regulations. Labeling rules and consumer protection. One of the most important roles of EU wine regulations is protecting consumers through accurate labeling. For example, EU regulations may allow a grape variety name to appear on a wine label if at least 85% of the wine comes from that grape. However, some member countries may choose to impose even stricter requirements. Certain regions may only permit the grape name if 100% of the wine comes from that variety. This ensures transparency and prevents consumers from being misled. It also encourages producers to maintain high standards of honesty and quality. Global impact of EU wine laws. The influence of EU wine regulations extends far beyond Europe. Any country wishing to export wine into the European Union must comply with EU labeling and quality regulations. This means that winemakers from Australia, Chile, Argentina, South Africa, the United States, and many other countries must ensure their wines meet EU standards before entering the European market. As a result, EU regulations have become some of the most influential wine laws in the world. The European Union wine classification system was created to protect quality, preserve regional identity, and build consumer trust. PDO wines represent the highest level of geographical authenticity and traditional production. PGI wines offer regional identity with greater flexibility. Together, these systems help wine lovers understand exactly where a wine comes from and what standards were followed in its production. Because in Europe, a wine label is far more than just information. It is a guarantee of origin, a guarantee of quality, and a promise that every bottle carries the heritage, tradition, and craftsmanship of the region from which it was born. Now we end this video and topic here. Hope you like the topic. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.